Okay, welcome to Workshop Wednesday. I'm Chelsea Bussemeyer, and I'm so excited for this episode because I have a special guest with me, Amanda Wheel. She is a style specialist. And here on Workshop Wednesday, we talk a lot about just fit and understanding how to adjust our garments to best suit our bodies and our body types. And there's a bigger piece though to feeling amazing in our outfit and our garments. And that has to do with styling them correctly. And Amanda, she helps women style. So Amanda, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us, and share a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah, Chelsea, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to be here. I am so just blessed and grateful to pour into your community. I love what you're building. I love what you're creating, and I'm excited for today. So yes, everybody, I am Amanda Wheel, a style specialist, and essentially I guide women to connect with the most confident version of themselves, that inner essence, that beautiful woman that they have within that's just like waiting to be seen, and then craft a style and a wardrobe that allows that version to really step forth and be seen. So it's a lot about doing that inner work, building that inner confidence, that inner knowledge and wisdom, and then working together to craft how she shows up in her clothes to really bring her forward.
Totally, I love that. It definitely is a confidence booster when you're wearing something that you just love and you know looks amazing and is put together, and you can totally step into your day and your life in as a better version of yourself, just through that. So let's dive into my first question. I know a lot of us have heard about different body types, and maybe we know our body type, maybe we don't know, maybe we have some confusion about what that means, and don't really know, is that important or is it not really important when it comes to styling and creating that perfect wardrobe?
Yeah. Okay. I love this question. I love that you're asking it because I have a very different viewpoint than a lot of other stylists, and that's cool. I'm okay with that. I honestly don't really follow any type of body type rules. I find them to be very restrictive. And it's interesting, when I first started styling, I thought that was wrong. I thought I wasn't a good stylist because I didn't look at it. Oh, you're a triangle, you should wear this. That's just not the way that my mind sees things, right? My mind sees the beauty in every woman, the beauty in every shape. And it's about putting on what makes you feel like the best version of you. It's not about dressing for curves or dressing for this. Of course, there are tips, there's style tips that, can help if there's certain areas that you want to accentuate or don't accentuate. But at the heart of it, it really comes down to understanding what it is that makes you feel alive, that makes you feel like the best you, that elevates your energy so that you can show up powerfully. Because I truly believe that every woman can wear anything. It just comes down to how you mix and match it and how you style it. And I feel like if we're following the rules, if we're constantly reading that, like, oh, I shouldn't wear this because I'm curvy, or I shouldn't wear this because I'm a ruler, where's the play in that? Like, where's the fun? Style is about fun, right? Style is about evoking that play and within you. So if we're going shopping only focused on what we think we should wear, we're missing out on this whole beautiful world. Like, what if you want to try on a pencil skirt, and what if it actually looks freaking amazing on you? Right? So I don't subscribe to those rules. And if you do, that's awesome. Like, again, there's no judgment either way. That's great. Personally, that's just not how I style my clients. And I have a wide variety of body types with my clients, and it works. So
Yeah, I think if we just look around, the world is composed of a wide variety of body types, and that's the beauty of it. And when we are kind of like subscribing to rules and regulations, we are limiting ourselves in our experience of life in general and putting ourselves in more of a restricted just mentality rather than being excited and open and yeah, experimenting and playful.
yeah, and
I
being
love
curious.
curious. That's a great word too. Being curious as to what does this do for me? Does it do something for me? Do I
Yeah,
love it? How does it make me feel?
right. Absolutely. Just like, we were talking about this earlier before we started, but like the whole notion that I don't, like, I'm not here to tell you what to say or what to do with your life. Why should I just be telling you exactly what to wear? right? Like it's about evoking what feels the best for you and what's going to have you feel like the best version of you. So if you're just subscribing to the rules and someone's telling you exactly what to wear, I don't know, that's kind of boring to me.
It is, and that's such a good point, just because oftentimes, like, when would we ask a magazine what to say in our life? Yet we ask in a magazine what we should wear and who we should be in our clothes.
Yeah.
Well, that totally kind of feeds into the next question. Living more free and experimental, but yet if we feel like we don't really know what direction to go in or how to even put together an outfit, what are some tips you can give us on how to really craft an outfit or put something together in a style kind of aspect?
Yeah, absolutely. I think before we really dive into like exactly what to wear, I think it's so important to be clear on your style vision. So, you know, a lot of women have visions for their business or visions for their life or their marriage or whatever it is, but how many women actually stop and create a vision for their style? And it's important because that is what gives you that guidance for what to put on. That's what, you know, you're getting dressed each day to evoke that vision, right? And to truly be that woman. So it comes down to first getting really clear on that. And that's what I typically walk my clients through is helping them get really clear on that and how that woman shows up. Because when we have that clarity, it actually makes getting dressed really easy. So from there, you have that clarity. Let's say like your vision is to be a like professional boss babe, right? So, okay, in your mind, what does a professional boss babe wear? Blazers. Awesome. Okay, so as you're crafting your outfit, start with a great blazer, right? So like for instance, when I got dressed today, I knew that I wanted to put on this. It's like kind of like a moto style blazer. It's spring. It felt fun. It felt, you know, floral. I wanted to be bright. So typically start with like your one hero piece and what that is, right? And what that's evoking in you. And from there, you build the rest of your outfit. So if you're, you know, scared of like too many prints or print mixing, maybe make the rest of your outfit a little bit more muted down. So for instance, I've got this on with like a black sweater and some black faux leather leggings because the jacket, I wanted the jacket to really be the all-star of the outfit. If it's a day where you're feeling like super playful, do some print mixing. Like maybe throw some like stripes. So stripes and flowers always look really cute together when you're print mixing, or like checks and flowers always look really good too. So maybe I would have thrown on like a striped shirt under this in similar colors with a great pair of torn up jeans, you know, if I was feeling a little bit more playful. So it comes down to number one, like someone wants to be a part of
Sorry
our
about that.
it's all good. It comes down to number one, just getting really clear on like, what's my intention for the day? How do I want to show up? Who do I want to be? What do I want to create? What do I want to evoke? And then, okay, what outfit feels really good to me? And let's start with that hero piece. So that's typically how I craft outfits. And then of course, accessories always happen last, because I think every great outfit, what really makes it your own style is how you accessorize it, because you and I can both wear the same exact outfit, but if you're wearing different earrings and different necklaces and different bracelets, it's going to look totally different than the way I'm going to style it.
Yeah, and that's really true if you're doing more of a classic or like
Yeah, or like a boho or like a
yeah,
style.
the
Yeah.
accessories really are the piece. I love that tip though, just going back to having that kind of all-star piece as your base, like a base piece, and building off of it rather than being overwhelmed with, I don't know how to put an outfit together, like where do I even start? Just have that clarity as to what is it that I want to create,
Yeah.
or what piece is speaking to me today that I can find matching pieces kind of to go in a direction.
Yeah.
Break
Just
it
start with
down in
one.
a way you can understand, or I can
Start
understand.
with one. Start with one. Maybe it's a great pair of animal print heels. Great. Start with one. Pair that back to some jeans and like a black blouse, you know, or like it's just focus your mind on the one thing and then create from there. That's how I usually do it. That's what I find to be the easiest.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, so let's say I have a garment that I love,
Okay.
but it just isn't doing anything for me, or I'm just like don't even know where to go with it. What do you kind of say to that?
Okay, that's a great question. Couple of different answers there. If it's a garment that you love, but when you put it on, it doesn't feel good, it doesn't evoke the best version of you, it just doesn't feel like that, then I would suggest giving that away. Okay. Because you don't need to hold on to that energy. There's no point in keeping that in your closet because it's just taking up space for what's meant to come in to come in. If it's a piece that you love and when you put it on, you do feel good, it's just that you don't know how to style it, or you're not really sure what to do with it. I mean, gosh, the easiest thing is, well, it depends on what the piece is. So the easiest thing is you can also like search on Pinterest for ideas. Maybe it's like a super oversized sweater and you're like, I just don't know how to style this oversized sweater. Play with it. Play with it with some faux leather leggings. Play with it with some jeans. Try knotting it. Try belting it. That's where you get to just play with different styling. But first identify like what it is about the piece that you love. Because maybe it's just the color that you love and that's it, but the shape doesn't really serve you. Okay, that might be time to give that away too, and then find something else in the color that you love. Does that help
That
clarify?
is a great tip. I feel like I need to go through my wardrobe now and really look at this. Okay, just because I like the piece or the color, if whenever I put it on, it just doesn't make me feel very good, why am I holding on to it? Just because, I have it, just because it's my size. Maybe there's someone else in my size that can feel amazing in it, and that just needs to go to them. So letting go of the things that just don't feel right that way, but also that tip about if you are lost with styling, really zeroing in on what it is about the piece that you do love.
Yeah.
I was just thinking in my mind about an oversized sweater, and I was like, oh, so cozy and warm. Yeah, maybe it is just the cozy factor that I love about it, but the rest of it isn't doing anything for me. Yet playing with some accessories,
Yes.
belting it, or depending on, I do find too, if I have something that's very large on one part of my body, then sometimes I'll just want something really fitted on the other part so that I don't just feel like I'm swimming.
Yes.
But
Makes sense.
playing with different garments or
Yeah.
accessories with that so that I can kind of bring it in to something that I do feel congruent in
Yeah.
is great that way. Okay, so I have lots of clients that talk about different features about themselves and just don't know where to go with that. They feel kind of constricted from
Okay.
like oftentimes, for example, it's height. So if they're really short, they'll be like, well, I'm short, so I don't know what to do with it. What are some tips that you give clients that are like maybe on the shorter side of average?
Yeah. Yeah. I love that question too, because again, it's like, this is where we get to first check our mindset. Like everything, like I said, everything's going to come back to the inner before we even get to the outer. So this is where you get to check your mindset a little bit. And is that really true that like, and I don't know if they're saying this, but nothing works for me. Like I'll hear that a lot. Like I can't wear this because I'm short. I can't wear that because I'm tall. I can't wear this. And it's like, is that really true? Or is that just the belief that you've created? Because the reality is everything can be tailored. So my number one piece of advice, and your audience will get that, tailoring. So like 98% of women should have every single garment tailored. And the reality is they don't. They don't because they think they shouldn't. But one size does not fit all. So that's the biggest thing, right? It's, you might just need to get your pants tailored. You might just need to get your blouses tailored. For those that are, a little bit on the shorter side, I like when, if you're doing like a jacket, I like when it's a little bit more cropped, because if it's a blazer that's too long, then that does really mess with your proportions. Like I think a super oversized boyfriend blazer, for instance, is maybe not the best choice for someone who is on the shorter side. I think a little bit more cropped blazer is better because it also helps your legs look a little bit longer. And also super overwhelming fabrics, like super oversized is definitely not going to be great for the more petite ladies because you will just be completely swimming in it. So more fitted, for sure, garments, great like cigarette style pant, a great pencil skirt, just things that are more fitted, and definitely like I recommend this for essentially everyone, but definitely for my more petite girls, tuck in your shirts, at least do a front tuck so that you are accentuating your waist versus just allowing your shirt to just hang out and just kind of overwhelm you. So those are my tips for my more petite, shorter girls. For the taller girls, I mean, I feel like today so many pants are now made in longer lengths. So there's definitely options. Jeans are pretty long, right? And I honestly, I'm 5'6", and I end up cutting the hems of most of my jeans because they're too long for even me. So you can cut, you can hem, whatever works for you. But for my longer girls, like, pants are usually, there's always a way to find a longer pant. Um, if you have crazy long legs, I would say maybe, veer away from the super short mini skirts, because it just also makes your proportions look a little bit weird. A pencil skirt is fabulous. A pencil skirt's fabulous on everyone. But for those taller girls, like, you can absolutely play with the oversized sweaters and with the boyfriend blazers, just like we were talking about earlier. Play with your proportions so that on the bottom it's more fitted. So those are some of my key tips. But again, it's like, don't just take these as at face value. You get to try on. Maybe some of my more petite girls are like, I actually look great in an oversized boyfriend blazer. Okay, awesome. Maybe you just need to belt it. Boom, done. Right. So those are just some things that typically I find help.
Yeah, proportions are a big thing that I speak into a lot, and how our eye perceives things.
Mhm.
And if you're into photography or anything at all too, there's proportions with, where you should have the horizon line and not really cut it off in the middle. So ensuring that, your legs are the longer section typically in a human. That's what we're used to, rather than torso and legs being the same height. Is kind of that same principle as taking a photo where the horizon is right straight through the middle rather than being kind of offset in one direction. But I love how you started out with just like the mindset piece of, am I just telling myself that I can't wear this? Or is it maybe just something that I need to accessorize different, or try a different one, or tailor it? And since we all love to sew, we have the ability, whether we're sewing it ourselves and thinking through our outfits beforehand, if we have a beautiful fabric, what do we want to turn this into? Or looking at our closet and pieces we already have in there, that maybe we just need to adjust it so that we can really show up and feel our best in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just some great styling tips, and it's really some tips that I feel like I can implement, and
Mhm.
yet they're not feeling like they're holding me back in my life or in my
Good.
style.
Good.
And I love your insight around this topic. Now, I want to go into the next question, and the next question kind of feeds off of the last. I love that with interviews, when I set out the questions and we're just talking, and kind of automatically flow into the
Yeah.
next question, and that is, we are always our own worst critic.
Mhm.
And we often know that, but we maybe don't really take it to heart. But when it does come to maybe features that I don't really feel comfortable about myself, or that I don't really want to accentuate in any way, how do I play those down? Or vice versa, when there's something that I do love about myself that I think is maybe my best feature, if I want to play that up, do you have any tips around doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I so get that, right? Like, we are our worst critic. And my first suggestion, and this is an exercise I put a lot of my clients through, is mirror work. So, are you familiar with mirror work?
Not really.
Okay, I'll explain real quick, and then I'll totally get into tips and all that. But it's taking a minute every day, staring at yourself in the mirror, and
Wow, that sounds hard.
going from head to toe. And usually I say do it naked, or do it in like your bra and underwear, and go head to toe and like love on every single part of your body,
Wow, that's
and start to
deep.
really like love on that. Because, to go even deeper with this, I truly believe that the reality is, once we start seeing the best in ourselves, and once we start truly believing that and visualizing that, it's really amazing how our physical body starts to change. Like, I've seen women where weight has started falling off. I've seen in myself really full hair growing back in, when you just start to love on what you see and just start to visualize yourself of where you want that to be. And so that's always like step one is being okay with it. Because if you're holding on to a lot of negative energy about a part of your body, that's just like festering. That energy is getting stuck there, and you're not going to be able to show up in your best. So that's step one. And as you are working on that, and as you're shifting your mindset and your inner being, I mean, so many options. I feel, you know, the number one area that I usually hear women talk about is their arms. So, okay, got it. Then don't wear a sleeveless shirt, you know, or even do like a little cap sleeve. Does wonders for the arm. Where it hits you, it actually really helps create a beautiful looking bicep. So like there's, you know, there's options there versus like a sleeveless, right? Doing a little cap sleeve. If, you know, you don't necessarily want to show off your midsection, then okay, don't wear a super tight shirt, but at the same time, don't wear like a super oversized shirt, because that's actually just adding fabric. And I still do believe that playing with a front tuck is really, really beneficial, or a full tuck. And I have a lot of women fight me on that until they actually try it. And then they realize that it is more slimming to do that. If you, gosh, I mean, there's so many, it's just so fascinating. Like, what other areas do I hear women say? It's usually arms and midsection is like the number one that I would hear. But if it's your legs, then okay, play with a pencil skirt instead of a mini skirt. You know, just, or if you want to do a shorter skirt, wear an over the knee boot with it so that you're only seeing like this much skin. So that would be like if there's areas that you want to avoid. And the biggest area that I hear women want to show off is their décolleté. So great, play with a V-neck, play with a scoop neck versus, you know, a high turtle. Show that off. Throw the necklaces. The thing to remember is like where the skin is being seen is where the eyes are going to go. So if you love your midsection and you want to show it off, a little crop top under a blazer, and people are going to go there. They're going to see that. So it's that, and it's also where you place your accessories. So if you do have on a lot of necklaces, people are going to go there as well. We've talked about belting as well, another great way to show off your hourglass, your midsection. Yeah, does that help? Like those are just, another big one that is really helpful too is showing off your skinny bits, which is typically your wrists and your ankles are your skinny bits.
I love
So
that term, skinny bits.
So I'm a big fan of when you have on a blazer, if it's not, in this case, this one's a 3/4 sleeve, but if you have on a blazer that's long and regular, I'm a big fan of cuffing, like doing like one big cuff up, and then maybe if you need to do another little cuff over it. I'm not a fan of like the old school, like 1 roll, 2 roll, but I love just doing like one big cuff and then another little cuff over it, and show off your skinny bits and add some bracelets like that. And then for the ankles, you know, I love jeans right now that, well, especially like for skinny jeans that hit you right at the ankle bone.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want a little bit of space between the jean and your shoe to show off that skinny bit. So that's my big, those are some of my tips.
Those are some great tips. The accessories, eyes will go where your accessories are. And like I said, I love that term, skinny bits. So I feel like that's something that a lot of people can feel like they, you know, are comfortable with showing off in fashion right now is very, with the way that pants specifically are going, is really favorable for that direction rather than having, you know, big, flared, long, dragging kind of legs. It kind of leads to that. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I feel like I need to go through my closet and I need to rewatch even this interview to kind of maybe feel better in the clothes that I'm putting on every day. And I'm so excited to invite you to offer you have a special event coming up for everyone. Would you like to share that real quick?
Yes, I would love to. So later this month, I'm going to be hosting a workshop, and it is essentially for you to get really clear on your style vision. So who that woman is that you are creating, that you're stepping into. So I would love to invite all of you to join me. I know we're going to be dropping a link so that they can get all the details. Sometimes when we like spew out all the details, people miss it. So we're just going to drop a link and you guys can decide if it feels good to you.
Yeah, so the link will just be in the description box here right under the video. So click on that if you're interested, and then you can go to that page to sign up and read more about that. But I think that that's a great place to start, since that is something that we probably all haven't really given much thought to. And it's just like, yeah, that starting out piece, as you shared at the beginning, to really dive into your style and understand your style and have a direction to even be going. If you don't have a direction, how do you come to any kind of conclusion, right?
Right.
So awesome. Well, thanks again. Thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for joining both of us here on this episode of Workshop Wednesday, and we'll see you all next week again. Take care.
Thank you.